Hello, everybody. Ray here with another Awakening Short. And today's subject is the addictive quality of judgment. Judgment. Now, by judgment, I don't mean discernment, like you get two job offers and you make a judgment as to which one is the best for you. By judgment, I really mean judgment against. Um, Judgment of somebody else as being wrong or to blame or at fault or not doing what they should be doing, being less than, any kind of judgment of a person, or it could be a situation, but you're making a judgment against that person or situation. You're making it wrong. And the ego loves to do that because if you make the other person wrong, then your ego is right. And that means the other person is inferior and your ego is superior. So you're better than. And the ego loves that. And, but of course, sometimes it can be the exact opposite. Some egos like to see themselves as worse than, less than, inferior to everyone else. It doesn't really matter to the ego whether you're better than or less than, so long as you're special. You're so special. You're such a loser. You're like the biggest loser in the world, and that's what makes you special. So the ego can play all kinds of games. But today I'm talking about when the ego plays the game of making a judgment against. And if you think about it, whenever you make a judgment against, you get a certain kind of feeling arises within you, a kind of an energetic feeling. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Not so much the story which your mind tells you to justify your judgment. You're not being unfair and just excuse me, you're not being unfair to the other person and just willy-nilly making a unjust judgment against them. You have your reasons. They did this or they did that. And so all of those reasons are a story that the mind comes up with to justify the judgment. And we tend to really spend a lot of time in those mental stories because as human beings, we tend to stay in our heads a lot. And awakening does not reside in the head. You cannot think yourself to enlightenment. You cannot awaken by thinking the correct thoughts or having the correct concepts. And a lot of people make the mistake of trying to do that. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about the addictive quality of judgment today. We forget that we are a whole. So awakening is a whole body experience. We tend to break ourselves up into parts and components. We think of ourselves as our thoughts, and the thoughts take place in the brain, and the brain is inside the head. So we're up here in our head looking down at our body, which is over there, right? And the truth is all of you is one holistic whole. Your thoughts, your consciousness, your emotions, really your feelings, whether by feeling you mean a vague feeling, like a vague emotion that you might wake up with in the morning, kind of in the background of your mind, to the feel of the sun on your skin, to the feel of the pain if you stub your big toe. All these feelings, whether emotional or physical, how your body feels, how the earth feels on your foot, how maybe your knee hurts, so how does that feel? Or maybe there's no pain at all, but you feel your body. Like, how does your body feel on you as you wear it? How do your emotions feel? What kind of thoughts are you having? How are you breathing? Thoughts, feelings, emotional or physical sensation, breathing, all of these, and your physical body, your physiological felt sense of your body being, your body sense, all of these are one system, one collective whole. Your body does not break itself into components, and every part of the system affects every other part of the system. So, just quick example, the warm feel of the sun on your skin feels good. And in response to that, you might have a thought like, today's going to be a good day, which makes your emotions feel happy, which causes you to become relaxed, which causes your breath to become deep and slow. And then your autonomic nervous system notices that your breathing is deep and slow and processes that as we are safe. And then your system begins to get triggered towards understanding other people and empathy for other people and love and joy and a sense of expansion. So the opposite of that is a sense of contraction, which is what brings about the addictive quality of judgment. We don't tend to notice this because we ignore the feeling and stay in our heads with the story of why we're justified in making a judgment against someone. But if you ignore that story, the next time this happens to you, the next time you are judging against someone, get out of your head and go into the energetic feeling. What does it feel like in your body when you are being judgmental? What does that energy that is in your body feel like? And if you really feel that feeling, instead of ignoring it like we usually do, you'll find that it doesn't feel very good and you actually don't want it. But you continue to do it because you're addicted to it. That energetic feeling feels contracted. When you judge against someone or something, your energy's field gets contracted, and basically what you're doing is this is how you stay unawake. You keep yourself unawake, unenlightened by continuing to perpetuate your belief in the illusion of separation. And this contracted energy field is one of the main ways that maybe it's the only way that you do it. It's all the same thing. This contracted energy field becomes like a fence. You're basically putting a fence around yourself, and you are in here, inside your fence, separate from everything else and everyone else that is out there on the other side of your fence that you've excluded. You've excluded them because you want to be separate from them. And this judgment creates this contracted energy, which is how you create the fence that keeps you in your fortress of solitude, basically. So, and if you, like I said, if you really allow yourself to fully feel that feeling, you'll realize it does not feel good and you actually don't want it. But we maintain it out of habit. We maintain it out of, we don't want to wake up yet. We want to keep the separation going. If you wanted to wake up, you'd be awake. So we keep the separation going by keeping this energetic contraction going. It's also because most people don't very often, some never, experience the expanded energetic field of love and joy, which expands to include everyone. when they don't, because they don't allow themselves to feel that, when they don't have this negative energetic contraction going on, they feel nothing. They're not feeling anything. They are dead inside. And so most people would prefer to feel a strong feeling of pain over feeling nothing. I mean, it hurts, but at least you feel alive. For a lot of people, trauma and drama is the only way they can feel alive. So that's another reason for the addictive nature of judgment, the addictive quality of judgment. This energy, you get used to it. It's doing what you want it to do. You don't have to feel how icky it is most of the time because you put your attention on the story in your head instead of putting your attention on the feeling. So it's just kind of there in the background, but it's a familiar kind of a feeling. It keeps the illusion of separation going, which is what you want. It makes you feel alive instead of just being completely dead inside, which is what you want. So it can become addictive. People can get addicted to this contracted energy generated by judging against, finding fault with, blaming. So if it seems like you're always getting into some kind of conflict with other people, as if you go about your day and you're just kind of waiting for somebody to do something wrong, you might be addicted to the energetic contraction of judgment or addicted to judgment. And like one of the reasons that I'm bringing this up now is because if you want to awaken in the dream, it's really helpful to know how important this energetic component of it is. It's really helpful to know that you can use your body as a kind of barometer or a kind of sensor, a kind of feedback loop to help you make progress in your personal and spiritual growth. If you keep it totally in the head, trying to think your way to self-improvement or personal growth or spiritual growth, that's never going to work because your mind is continually lying to you. It's trying to justify the illusion. Your body is part of that illusion, but thankfully, it gives you energetic feedback on what's going on. So, for example, you make a judgment against somebody, you're getting all up in your head about why they're a terrible person. Okay, so that's fine, let that continue, whatever. But try just going inside yourself and feeling the energy. Not the thoughts, not the words, not the pictures or images or emotions, the energy that is arising in your body right now as a result of that judgment. And let that energy be a guide for you by tracing it back to its root to find out the source of that energy. And when you find out the source of that energy, you'll find out that it's not true. And just seeing that it's not true is a major step. That's like major progress. Once you've seen that it's not true, your allegiance to it begins to fall away, right? So the addictive, how people can get addicted to making other people wrong is a felt body sense indicator of where you're going astray and how you can help yourself. So it's it's a good example of how you're if you want to make progress, if you want to be a better person tomorrow than you are today, a key thing that I've learned in my years on this path is that, well, like the mind is helpful, but it's the heart that shows the way, or the energy, the energetic feeling in the body is much more helpful to you than any story that your mind is telling you. Ultimately, it's awakening is not about feeling better. It's about getting better at feeling. When you stop suppressing your feelings and you begin to feel them without the story, without the emotion, just on an energetic level, you get better at feeling. You now you have access to like a whole new book of knowledge, new information, more accurate information that you can use to guide you in a more accurate way. And because until you discover this, what you're going to be doing is wasting lifetime after lifetime after lifetime going in circles, spinning speculation and speculative stories in your head, spider webs of emptiness that do absolutely nothing to help you. You're just like trapped on a hamster wheel and never ending, lifetime after lifetime, just to keep you diverted. All of it is designed by the ego, by the mind, to keep you distracted and diverted away from what could really help you, which is getting in touch with your physical body and the energetics of contraction that you keep going all the time to maintain the separation, to maintain your belief in an illusion that does not exist. It's a hallucination. There is no separation. Everything is one, but you keep yourself inside your fence and everything else outside the fence to make it look like everything is not one and there is separation, and you're unsafe because all that stuff on the other side of your fence could attack you at any moment. None of that is true. Projection makes perception. You decide first that you want the separation. You decide first to contract your energy field. You choose first to put up a fence with you inside and everyone else outside. And then that's what you see. First, you decide what you want, then you project it with your mind into your outer reality, and then you see that coming back at you through your physical eyes that you created to see separation. And the only way to break through that hallucination, to wake yourself up from your self-induced hypnosis, is to use the energy that arises in your body whenever you are practicing any of your separation games. And most people don't do this. Most people don't use this. They try to conceptualize themselves. But it's a really valuable tool. It's just incredibly helpful. And I, just as an exercise, the next time you find yourself in judgment, go inside yourself. Place your attention on how the energy feels, not the emotion, but the physical energy, and see if you can't feel how contracted it is and how it's excluding everyone, and trace it back to its source. Where ask yourself, where I feel this energy, is it staying in one place or is it moving? What does it feel like? Does it feel like electricity or like water running? Does it feel thick? Does it feel thin? And where is it coming from? What's actually the beginning point of this energy? Because I've had this energy all my life. It didn't just start today. It's become more noticeable today because of this other person doing something that I think they shouldn't have done, but it's always been there. So where did it start? How did it get started? Try to find the root of it. So that's an exercise you could do. And I think that's all I want to say today about this. So thanks for listening, and love you all.